Oh, hey, what's going on, everybody? Movie Phantom here, and yes, it's Monday. Time for some horror news. Really, I'm gonna kind of kickstart with this the biggest news. I mean, it's the oldest news, but it is really the best of the bunch here. Yeah, they're doing a prequel, animated prequel to The Hills Have Eyes, entitled The Hills Have Eyes: The Beginning. Apparently based on the graphic novel, which I didn't read. I need to get into that. Like, there's a lot of, not necessarily that one, but there's a lot of horror movies that have basically spawned their own comic series, and I have not ever jumped into that those storylines at all. And I like comics. I like comics and everything, but I literally just I don't know. I feel like I need to do that. Like, I know, like the Lost Boys, they actually had like a comic book series that went for a while or whatever. And I feel left out. I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on with those guys. So, I don't know. They check it out. But anyway, they're doing it. But the interesting part about this is that Rob Zombie's attached to it. He is writing it, I believe. Or he wrote it. He already wrote it. Maybe he's already, sent it in. Because right now he's busy doing 31. And I was like, that's kind of crazy, So, I don't know. I said, I wasn't huge on the remake movie. I actually did like the second one, though. Which I know, like, most people were just opposite of that, but... So I'd check it out. I'd watch an animated Hills Have Eyes movies. Speaking of comics, we got a double shot here for you that I don't know. I just found funny as shit. Archie is entering the realm of horror and sci-fi here. Apparently, and so I never read any of the Archie comics in the day at all. I remember actually. When I was younger, we're talking 13-year-old Phantom, I'd go, visit my uncle and everything. I'd sneak into the back room, and he would have his pornography, but he also had Archie comics, and I don't know if that was just meant that way or not, but it was like they next to each other. So, fuck Archie's, you're reading, pornography or whatnot. They're going through the magazines over here, off the comics over here. And it wasn't until years later I thought that was odd. Like, they were, the comics and the Archies, and then the porn was all together. I don't know. And I never quite asked him about it. It's just because he didn't know I was back there. So he probably does now. He don't watch the show, so I'm good. But no, it is kind of weird. But it was like we got pornography. Who needs Archie? So you just fucking, because back in the day we didn't have the internet. Kids now are just like, why do you just get on the internet? Well, back in that day there was no internet, Junior. So anyways, but yeah, so that's, to me, when I think of Archie, it takes me back to those days as a young boy, looking at the pornography. But anyway, so some big news, we got Archie, and he's doing 2 crossovers. First we have Archie versus Predator. I repeat, Archie versus Predator. Are you fucking kidding me? That's brilliant. That is fucking genius. I may actually go out and pick up some Archie comics now because that just sounds fucking awesome. Apparently, from what I've gathered, because I guess there's only one issue out right now, but they're all just having a regular party, and then fucking spaceship crash. I think it's a shooting star in the distance, but it's a spaceship, and the Predator comes out of it. I don't know why he'd be hunting the Archie kids, because typically Predators hunt other people, like other hunters or people that pose a threat. Not a bunch of teens. To me, it seems like the Archie gang would be more at home, like Camp Crystal Lake. I think that'd be better. But whatever, we got Predator. I'll roll with it. But the other one, because I read that was like Monday or Tuesday when I read that, and then it was like the next day. It was like, well, Archie's got another one. Archie versus Sharknado. And I'm gonna repeat that one for you as well. Archie versus Sharknado. Holy shit! That's better than Predator in my opinion. It's just basically, I guess, they're hanging out on the beach and then Sharknado shows up. Fucking awesome. So, yeah, if I'm gonna get acquainted with Archie, it's gonna be this way right here with his horror crossover. So, get some B movies here. I'm not gonna lie, there wasn't a lot of news, so I'm doing a lot of filler this episode. But there's 3 trailers I checked out. All just they look ridiculous. The first one's called Killer Rack, and it was pretty much exactly what it says. It's a chick who gets breast implants, but he puts like these little monsters or some shit in there. I mean, at one point a tentacle pops out and like kills somebody. And of course they got like little mouths and everything. And to me it just seems like, well, I mean, if you're looking at it from like a serious perspective, like teeth kind of beat you there, except it's the vag instead of the breast. But at the same time, you're just kind of like, it's goofy fun. Like, clearly you're not taking this movie that seriously at all. So, yeah, killer rag. The next one, I just love the title. I had to check it out. It was based on the title. It was Sharkensaw. I want to make sure I said that right, because it's like Arkansas. Sharkensaw Women's Prison Massacre. Where, I guess, this women's correctional facility, these women try to break out of it. But guess what? These sharks show up like in the bayou and or start swimming through there or whatever, and then they actually go up on land. They go through land too, so it's just like, I don't know. There's nothing you can do. The sharks actually look pretty badass in this though. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still low budget B movie, CGI and shit. Definitely right at home with like Sci-Fi Channel. But they have these like little spikes and shit on there. I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool. And then finally, and this one don't look good at all. Like this was like the trailer like shit, but clearly the title sold me. Shark Exorcist. Yes, there you go. Because they're like, well, back in the day, you had in the 70s, you had Jaws, which was like scary as shit. You got The Exorcist, which is scary as shit, and now we're combining them today with Shark Exorcist. And pretty much, it's Satan's shark. Satan, I guess, has a shark. I don't know if he possessed him or if it's literally his own personal pet. Either way, he sends it out into the ocean. But this one looks like Killer Rack looks pretty low budget, but it looks like Trauma low budget. This looks like I took this camera and filmed like a horror movie. That's how cheap it looks. I mean, it's like discount production values and shit. So yeah, it looks pretty ridiculous. But there you go. There's some B movies coming your way, so keep an eye out for those. Got a little bit of Scream news. Finally saw the trailer. It's not as bad as I thought, because I mean, when it hit, I didn't watch it, because it premiered on the MTV Movie Awards. I guess the fans just ain't watching the MTV Movie Awards, so I, didn't really give a shit one way or another, and I was like, oh, well, I'll check the trailer out sometime. So I waited, and then sure enough, it's out. And it don't look bad. It don't look great, but it don't look bad either. I mean, it is basically what you'd expect from an MTV. It looks like, I mean, they definitely updated it, but, the interesting thing is that, as I saw the trailer, I was like, it don't look too bad. I mean, I may check out the first episode, which I'm sure everybody else will too. Because, I mean, typically a big show like this, that premiere episode, the first one, like the ratings are going to be like through the roof. But then, of course, the second one, it's going to have that drop. That second episode dropped. And I'm probably going to help contribute to that drop because I'm sure the first episode will be shit. And I'll be like, eh. I mean, here's hoping that, it is good. I mean, I hope maybe it does great or whatever. However, I just don't see it being that good. It just has that stigma of, it has that MTV stigma. I don't like anything on MTV. I'm just not a fan. I tried to watch different shows on there, and they're all garbage. Like everything, ever since this one, well, you don't see her, she's off camera. But when she moved in, she watched like this show called Awkward and some other bullshit on there, and I, overhear it. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. They even have a show called Ridiculousness, which is basically just a PG, watered-down version of Tosh.0, and it just sucks balls. So I don't know. I just don't. I fucking hate MTV. Like when I was a kid, and I'm being this guy right now. But when I was a kid, it actually had music videos on there. Now there wasn't much, because when I was a kid, the adults would tell me, back in our day, it was nothing but music videos all day long. And I was like, yeah, but we have good shows. We have Beavis and Butthead, and The Max, and Flux, and Celebrity Deathmatch, and, Daria. I mean, these are all animated. I'm trying to think of something live action. I don't know. I didn't care for the road rules and that bullshit. But fuck it. In my day, it was good, and you did have music videos. Not very much, but if you got up in the morning to go to school, there were videos playing then. And then usually at night, you can flip it over and, get some music video, the after hours, if you will. And, yeah, it worked, but then, like, today, there's just none. There's zip. There is no music on music television, so, yeah. But, yeah, so, I'll check out the first episode. I won't be a complete hater. I'll check out the first episode, but, interesting enough, Wes Craven was recently interviewed, because, I mean, his name's all over it, but he's the executive producer, and I guess he's honestly, that's it. Like, he's literally just kind of like, you guys do it. Give me the check. And he already kind of voiced a bit of a complaint. Because all the fans are freaking out now because the mask is different. Which I'm okay with that. It don't bother me as much. My boy Ghostface Kid on here, I mean, it tore him up. And I can see why. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I get it. And then Wes Craven, I mean, I'm going to give his reason, and I agree with that reason too. At the same time, I just don't count this as Scream. Like, this to me, if it's the movie and they changed it up, I'd probably be a little bit like, really? Like, why are you doing that? But it's a TV show made by MTV, so who gives a shit? Like, I'm just like, this has nothing to do with the movie to me at all. Like, I don't care if they directly connect it, and they fucking have like Neve Campbell and David Arquette and Courtney Cox do, appearances. I don't give a shit. I'm still not gonna count it. But fuck it, this ain't even part of the canon. To me, it's still just the 4 movies and that's it. Sorry, I got my eyes, guys. It's ridiculous. Anyways, oh fuck me. That ain't about wearing a mask. You get shit in your eyes, you're fucked for a second. But Craven said he disagrees with the mask. He feels like that is the one constant, he said, in his in the trilogy he did, or sorry, it's 4 he did. He felt like you could never change the mask. He just felt like it was iconic the way it was. And he said he actually even regretted when he did New Nightmare. He kind of he altered the makeup a little bit on Freddy Krueger. And he says he even regrets doing that now. Like, he felt like, he should have just kept it, the way it was. Which I didn't mind the alterations on New Nightmare, but... And like I said, I don't know. From what I saw of the match, didn't quite get a good look at it anyways. I mean, it was just a quick shot. So maybe when I get full, oh, hey, look at the mask. It'll be different. But I don't know. Like that. Once again, I can give a shit about MTV. Fuck MTV is what I'm saying. There we are. Going into some museum news, if you will, Twilight Zone apparently has a hands-on exhibit. Because you go to a museum, typically it's like, don't touch. Stay behind the velvet rope and enjoy your viewing. Well, apparently at Twilight Zone, I guess they got different props from the show, and the guy who has been collecting these for years, he's doing the rounds with it or whatever, and he's just saying like, hey, pick it up, have fun. I'm like, this is going to be a rule until someone drops something. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think like some kind of prop. Like, like the little fortune-telling thing that, the episode of William Shatner where him and his fiance are in this diner, and of course the fortune teller machine's like, you gotta ask it yes or no, and they'll tell your fortune, and it just has to be right every time. And anyway, I can see like someone like picking that up and then like fumbling it and like, oh shit, and they're like, all right. Going back to hands off, so. But yeah, so if it comes to your town and you're like, I don't want to go to a museum, but guess what? There could be a Twilight Zone exhibit coming your way. And then, so John Carpenter, this is something you guys may have already heard of. He had a CD he released recently of his music, And they just released, dropped his the new video for his song called Nights. And, Night, no S. One night, one fucking night. And, musically it wasn't bad. It was typical Carpenter, just synthesizers and just repeating beat. What makes Carpenter's music great is it's married to the image on the screen. Like, you see something on the screen, you see like Snake Plissken or, fucking Michael Myers, and the music, it's a marriage between, music and, the video. So, I could never get into, like, the soundtracks listening anyways. Like, I tried. Like, I like, certain themes, and I was like, I'll make a CD of that. And it's not so bad with that, because you can kind of, it reminds you of the movie you watch. But then you try to, like, listen to other shit from this composer or whatever, and you're just like, At least for me, personally, I'm just like, So, as I'm watching this video with Carpenter, first thing I know is the music, it ain't bad. But I feel like if it was in his movie, it'd be even better. He did not direct the music video, and the music video is just really boring. Like, basically, these two guys directed it, and basically all it is Carpenter himself goes into out of this box, puts on this virtual reality shit, and it's just him walking around, and then he starts driving. And literally, it's like a 3-minute and 40-something second video of Carpenter's driving. But then at the end of the video, as he pulls up, because it's like, it's Carpenter in the real world, doing this shit. He's doing the. But then, excuse me, you cut, and I'm assuming someone else. But the virtual reality, the avatar, if you will, is doing everything else. Well, at the end, he pulls into a parking garage, and then there's like this dude, like, he looks like a robot in a way, but he's standing there, and of course, the Carpenter pulls the bat out and just starts fucking doing this. But at this point, the video's over. So like literally, that's all it was. It's just driving around for 3 minutes, and then 20 seconds of him pulling into his parking garage. Gets out for 10 seconds, sees somebody over there, a robot or whatever the fuck it was, pulls a bat out. That's your last 10 seconds. Video over. One of the worst music videos ever. I'm just saying right now, I thought it was the biggest piece of shit ever. Music wasn't bad. If Carpenter would came up with the video, I mean, it'd be just like, this is what I want. I want me driving around for 3 minutes solid. And then at the end, I confront somebody, and nothing goes down. We just end it. We'll let the people decide, well, really, fuck that. No, it was crap. Music wasn't bad, though. I just wish it was actually in a Carpenter movie. So, and then finally, this isn't even horror, but once again, the Phantom's reaching down in the barrel. He's scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Batman vs. Superman, the trailer dropped last week. I've been one that's been, because I'm not gonna, I do not like Man of Steel. Fuck Man of Steel. I know everybody's like, oh God, yes, Man of Steel, fucking meat slapping on their face. I just thought it was just too long. And the truth is, I'm not a fan of Superman. That's probably part of it right there. Whenever I remember it first came out, Man of Steel, I was just like, well, it kept throwing Nolan and Zack Snyder's name out there. Now at this point, Zack Snyder's kind of dropping. Don't get me wrong, Dawn of the Dead and 300 are fucking badass. I love them. Watchmen, and I didn't even fucking bother with Sucker Punch. I was like, do I really need to watch it? And I just kind of realized right off the bat, unless if he has some good source material, and maybe not as much power. Cause, I mean, clearly, I've never read the Watchmen comic books. I hear they're great, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like he made this really long fucking movie. It just took forever. And it's something that he likes to do that. It's like he's gonna be that guy who's gonna make a really long movie now, and then just make it more about the special effects than the actual story. And that's just what it seemed like to me. And that's what it seemed like with Man of Steel. Like, to me, it's just like, don't get me wrong, it looked incredible. It looked phenomenal. But I just didn't give a shit about the story. In fact, the one thing that I liked that everybody else hated, everybody was like, well, the fact that Superman breaks the dude's neck at the end, I was like, good. I was happy. As a one time, I was just like, holy shit, we got good for a second. And then, we're just back to nothing. And, I just remember being pumped that Zack Snyder's name was like all over this thing, and then it turns out not Zack Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and then like he says in interviews like, I had nothing to do with it. He was like, I literally just like my name's on it and that's it. He's like, I didn't even walk on set. I was like, really? Because I remember for the teaser trailer for Man of Steel was actually kind of cool, and it had like this, it had a Nolan quality to it, but nothing to do with it. And so I don't know. When I watched Man of Steel, I just didn't give a shit. So then I hear Affleck's going to be Batman, which once again I was like, nah. Zack Snyder's back, and and I'm just like, who gives a shit? This is horrible. Saw the trailer. First I saw the little nugget they sent out, which really pissed me off, because I'm like, really? They're doing like teaser trailers for teaser trailers now. It's the dumbest fucking thing. But it was just some voiceover, and you see and of course that's what you'd expect, I guess. But then when this trailer dropped, that shows some shit, it looks good. Now, once again, I thought Man of Steel looked good too, but yeah, I don't know. Affleck, I heard the voice, I heard his Batman voice, and you know what? I liked it. Thing is, I can't tell. Everybody thinks like Affleck looks like he's beefed up, like he's muscular. He looks fat to me. Like, am I the only one that thinks he looks like fat as fuck in this? Like, I see him in the Batman outfit. He don't look like he's buff. He just looks fat. So I don't know. I'm seeing the wrong pictures, maybe, or maybe when I see the movie, I think, oh wait, he don't look fat. To me, he looks fat. Like, it looks like a chunky Batman, which I'm sure it's not. I saw Ben Affleck do Gone Girl. I don't think he packed on some fat, between that and this. So, but yeah, anyway, so yeah, that dropped. I don't know. I feel a little better about it now, but there's still a part of me like there's a little phantom on the shoulder going, you were excited about Man of Steel. And look what it did to you. It really just pissed right in your face. Zack Snyder's going to face fuck you once again, and so I'm hoping that ain't the case. I really am, but who knows? Well, guys, that's it. I think I stretched it out as long as I could. I'm the Movie Phantom. This has been the horror news. You guys got any comments or questions, or you got anything to add about whatever I was talking about today, or whatever? And leave those comments down below. And Movie Phantom.